1, 2.
Welcome to the Mental Reps Podcast, featuring your host, Brian Wright.
I'm glad to hear that you and the fam and everybody are doing good, safe and sound, and everybody's healthy, right?
Our guest this episode is comedian and writer, Matthew Broussard.
Yeah, my mom, she should care more about the virus. She's like, I hope I get it. 72. We're like, no.
This week's episode is sponsored by the Field Irish Pub Eatery, a little piece of island in South Florida.
Dude, what is it with parents and the dark-ass humor they have all of a sudden during COVID times? It's like, Jesus, I don't remember you being so dark.
My favorite moment with her, we watched Forrest Gump together.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how at the end you learn that she's the kid, you learn Forrest is the father, and then she dies?
Uh-huh.
My mom, during the credits, goes, I bet it wasn't his kid.
As well as elite sanitizing services, keeping South Florida clean and in business.
Wait, she can trick him easily. I mean, he's,
Yeah, no, dude, she's got a good point. She's got a good
great point.
Yeah, it probably wasn't.
There's no proof. There's no DNA test. He's a pretty simple guy to deceive.
She's out there whoring around with the Black Panthers.
Now fade out that fresh-ass beat, and let's get this bitch on the road.
Welcome to Mental Reps Podcast. Hello. What's up, everybody? I'm Brian Wright. I hope you are happy and healthy. Thank you so much for listening to the show, supporting the podcast, following us on all the social medias. Really can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Please keep sharing the show with your friends. We keep on growing, and it's all because of you guys. So thank you again so much. You can also email the show at mentalrepspodcast@gmail.com. My guest today is a really funny comedian, writer, and artist, Matthew Broussard. Comes from a great family, really accomplished parents in chemistry and medical fields. Went on to Rice University. Engineering and math were the majors, but decided he wanted to join that freak party and become a comedian. Pretty interesting story, actually. He's been featured on Comedy Central's Roast Battle several times. He's written for the Comedy Central Roasts. He also has something called Monday Punday. Very funny drawings, some thinkers in there, but all really sharp and funny. There's a ton of footage of him online. YouTube, highly suggest you go check him out. As you'll see, he's a very funny, intelligent, good-looking dude who you kind of have to wrap your head around for a second. But once you do, you see he is the real thing. He's had to overcome some of those stigmas. So very interesting. We got into the roast battles, his love for comedy. He's also into sculptures. He makes these incredible sculptures. The really creative guy. And I know you'll dig my chat with Matthew Broussard. But first, did you think we'd forget? South Florida's authentic Irish pub and eatery, The Field. Come on, you know the deal. It's the official sponsor of Mental Reps Podcast. Go to thefieldfl.com and enter REPS20 for 20% off your entire online order. It's like a little piece of Ireland right here in South Florida for anybody who doesn't know, run by the best type of human beings. They've got it where it counts, man. I've been going there for almost 2 decades. We're talking full bars, Jameson, the best damn Guinness I've ever tasted on tap, Smithwick's, Irish car bombs, but of course, got that authentic Irish American cuisine. Shepherd's pie, the corned beef, the cabbage, Irish tato soup. They also have the steaks, chops, seafood, something for the whole crew. Plus live music 5 nights a week with real Irish music Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. It's at 3281 Griffin Road in Fort Lauderdale. 954-964-5979 is the number. If you want to stay in, just go to thefieldfl.com, enter code word REPS20 for 20% off your entire online order. We also have our very first live podcast event coming up this Monday at The Field, September 14th, 7 p.m. I'll be joined by amazing comedian and friend of the show, Brett Ernst. He's in Cobra Kai, new season coming out soon. They just released seasons 1 and 2 on Netflix, which are fucking killing it right now. Number 1 on Netflix for like over a week. And he's going to come mix it up with us, as well as a national champion offensive tackle from the Miami Hurricanes, part of the best team in college football history. Rashad Butler, he also went on to play like 7-8 seasons in the NFL, has an amazing backstory. They will be there taking questions from the audience, so we'll be giving out some prizes, some merch, gonna play some games, get the crowd involved. It's gonna be a fun time, so come out with The Field, September 14th, 7 o'clock. We're trying to create a thing here, man. I have high hopes for it. I hope you come and kick it with us at the Irish capital of South Florida, The Field. Also, here's another great company run by amazing people. If you're looking for local sanitizing services here in South Florida, call ESS, Elite Sanitizing Services. They're state licensed and insured, offering local sanitizing services, which kill 99.9% of all the bacteria and viruses, including COVID-19. They actually provided their services to The Field. Again, super safe and clean. If you need to keep your property, employees, customers safe and virus-free, let them help keep you in business, keep your employees working. They offer services for schools, churches, medical facilities, offices, aircrafts, yachts, public transportation, restaurants, gyms, homes, vehicles, and a lot more. It's kind of like you're running them through a big Purell machine. And now they're offering free sanitizing to vehicles of all first responders and medical professionals, which I just think is like a really cool thing for them to do. So please give them a call, 1-800-763-4299. Visit them at elitesanitize.com or email them at info@elitesanitize.com. Elite Sanitizing Services, keeping South Florida safe and in business. All righty then. Let's get to it. I hope you enjoy my little rap session here with the human boat shoe, Matthew Broussard.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Sorry about the mix-up. I've just been, I don't know why I haven't been as organized.
You're good, dude.
Nothing,
no worries at all.
Nothing feels real right now, so I'm bad about like calendars and dates as to how I usually am. It's usually something I'm fairly on top of as my own assistant. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And yeah, man, let's hop right in. You cool with that?
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. So what's you said right now, man, this is like a strange time. It's hard to keep track of everything. Like time is meaningless. It's just like hard to keep track of dates.
I feel like we lost track of days of the week somewhere in like May, and we all just kind of guessed. Like, dude, it could actually be Saturday. We just like, yeah, it feels like a Thursday. Let's just call it Thursday.
I swear to God, it was Sunday the other day, and I thought it was Thursday. And I'm like, Jesus, man, we got a problem here. What's going on?
I used the subway for the first time since March, like early March today. I've been using the city bike to get around because the weather's nice, and I don't want to go on the subway. And it was I realized March was how many? March, April, May, June, July, August.
Yeah,
six months ago.
Yeah, March
was 6 months ago.
See, I was thinking May.
April, May, June, July, August.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? That was 6 months ago. We've been in seclusion. Where are you located?
I'm in Fort Lauderdale. Where are you at?
I'm in Brooklyn.
Okay, all right. So you're doing it in New York. Have you been there the entire time?
No, been around. Started in Florida. We were there when things shut down, so we stayed. And spent a month there, then a month in Georgia. I've been mostly back home since then, traveling a little bit for work at responsible venues. And we went to Alaska last week for like 8 days, my girlfriend and I. And
wow, how was that?
Yeah, a dream. It's really worth doing, but you got to time it right because it was already late fall there. It was already drizzly and gray. And
so is the sun out like all day or like down all day? What part of the year is it?
It was still out. I think it's what is it, equinox? I think, or I don't know when the equinox is. Solstice and equinox there's 4 per year.
God, I can't remember. So it was
longest day, longest night, and then when they're evenly between the two. Sun was mostly out. It stayed light until like 10, but the seasons changed very quickly there. Yeah, sun was going down at like 9 or 10. I guess it was coming up somewhere between 5 and 7. So we never really saw nighttime. There was one night we were stayed up late, but it was actually, we wanted to catch the stars at night, but we would have had to stay up until you could see a glimmer of sunlight.
Borealis?
Yeah, we did. We definitely didn't catch that, but there was we had to drive late one night. It was easy because we just went to sleep at 8 and woke up at 6 or whatever. We could keep our same New York sleep schedules, 4 hours off, but we were morning people there and we were evening people here.
Okay. So you get a 10 on average every night, huh? That's pretty good.
No. 8 to 9.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I sleep a lot. I love sleeping.
Dude, I was just like having such a hard time getting out of bed this morning because again, it's like, especially when timing is different, not having to get to like, I was used to getting up at like 3:30 in the morning for these radio gigs, and like for years I did that shit, and I had split shifts, and I had all these crazy schedules. But now creating more of my schedule, and I haven't in the past, I've owned businesses and stuff, but it seems like now during the pandemic, where again this extra added like time is meaningless, like you can get to it later in the day if you really want to. Like it's not, there isn't a gun to your head to wake up in the morning. Dude, it was so fucking hard to get out of bed with my girl this morning. I'm like, dude, how great would it be just to like order some pizza and watch some Cobra Kai and just like chill out all day long, which is my show I've been watching lately. Our buddy Brett, do you know Brett Ernst?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's
in it.
Yeah, he's in the first season, and I think he might be in the next one. So,
is he blue-eyed with
yeah, he's a Florida
blue-eyed
boy,
comedian, right? With dark hair.
Yeah,
Handsome
dark
guy, right?
hair. Yeah. Italian. He was I think born in New Jersey, but he was brought up down here in Fort Lauderdale Plantation, actually. So
Yeah,
he's gonna be on my live podcast on Monday. But
good for him booking acting work, man. That's so hard to get.
Dude,
and that show is pretty acclaimed. I haven't watched it yet, but as someone who looks a lot like Marty Cove or whatever his name is, I've heard a lot of references.
Dude, so yeah, let's get into that a little bit. And I've obviously, okay, so you're a very funny guy. You've been doing comedy for how long now?
9 years.
9 years. Okay, so you started 2011, and you're also a pretty well-educated guy as well. You went to Rice for engineer. What kind of engineering?
Applied math, which is technically engineering.
Okay. I thought I remember you saying you started with something else.
I started mechanical engineering. No, I did start as mechanical engineering. Didn't finish it.
Okay. Yeah. So you went to Rice. You're a good-looking guy. You talk about this in your act a lot. Like, so you get like, the 80s hair and jawline. What has it been kind of like for you growing up? I mean, again, good-looking guy. You're funny. You're well-educated. So do people just automatically dislike you like right off the bat? Or, I mean, because you do have like kind eyes and shit like that. I'll throw that out there. You're approachable. You're not like evil looking. But like you said, you're just, some people would be maybe a little intimidated.
I scowl a lot. My resting face is pretty grumpy looking, so I have to smile just to look even neutrally emotional. And I'm very socially unaware, so oftentimes I say and do things that seem rude when they're more just aloof. And I have to be very conscious of that and try to do my best to not be a dick, because I think people are going to want to assume that of me, no matter how I act.
Added pressure as a result of that
in comedy. I've said this before, but anything that helps you on a dating profile hurts you in stand-up. You're not trying to be an impressive person. You're not trying to be prom king. You're trying to be kind of a schlub, hopefully. So I try to address that in my comedy and then let people know that I'm aware of that, and usually just acknowledging it releases some tension, and I'm usually able to just do the jokes I want to do from there. And comedians also, they love calling themselves like the nerds, the outcasts, and I look like someone who bullied them in high school, so I think I've felt from certain cliques in comedy that kind of what are you doing here? This isn't for you.
Yeah.
So weirdly, the nerd bully dynamic feels reversed in comedy sometimes.
That's what I was going to ask you. So is that like what you would normally be confident about growing up and be like, hey, what you get your self-esteem going with is kind of the reverse in comedy, where you almost feel self-conscious and you try and hide. I've heard Conan talk all the time about how he hates when people bring up that he went to Harvard. Like he can't stand it.
Yeah.
So is it kind of similar with you, where you almost kind of try and hide that a little bit so you can feel like more part of the misfits in the gang, or do you just like this is me, guys?
I mean, I certainly don't lead with certain things. I don't need to. I love working. I'm bad at sports, but I love working out. So I would talk about being bad at sports, but I wouldn't mention that I love triathlons and weightlifting and all that. I don't think that's very endearing. Comedy isn't about your successes.
Finished second in pole vault at Rice. Yeah, I mean,
I could do endurance sports pretty well. And Yeah, not coordination. So I was very bad at team sports. And in high school, the thing is, I went to a high school where everyone was so good looking and rich that I didn't think anything of the way I looked. I felt
Ah,
very middle of the pack among that group. It wasn't until I went to a college, a pretty nerdy college, that I realized people perceived me as this bro.
yeah.
Like, I always felt myself kind of a nerd in high
So
school, more of an
weird.
outcast. And then Rice is just so academic. I was so dumb compared to the students there, that I was like, oh, I guess I'm their fucking Stifler.
Hit that high C. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's so funny, man. We all go into things with preconceived notions. A lot of people try and put people in boxes just because it's easier for them to wrap their head around it, right? Like because they see
Hmm.
you and it's something that's weird that I think even good people, not even all bad people, it's like something that happens, they need to get to know you a little bit better. Until then, you're going to be in that jock or he's probably a prick. So it's convenient for them to kind of write you off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it takes people a little bit longer and they're like, oh shit, like Matt's a good dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I generally, when I see a comedian who looks like that kind of broy, why are you doing this? I think more judgmental than anyone. I'm
Mm,
I'm the first person to be like, if you don't have a joke in 12 seconds, get the fuck out of this
almost
whole
like
art form.
defensive. Yeah.
Yeah, or it's like,
Yeah.
show me you belong here, or get out. I think there's also just too many people. I think humans we're built on empathy. We're built to understand and feel compassionate for other people, but only so much. I think my girlfriend's locked out. I'm gonna go let her
Oh,
in.
dude, go.
She's ringing the
Yeah,
doorbell.
dude, go do what you got to do. It's hilarious.
But that's you. I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of a podcast. Can I let you know it's okay? She's on a call.
Sorry, Matt's girlfriend.
It was sorry.
It's all my
We
fault.
have a guest. No, I'm locking her out. Um,
She's welcome to say hi if she'd like. Oh man.
um, yeah, I think we don't want more friends. We don't want new people in our life. It's already hard enough to care about the 10 people we actually like. We don't want someone else to have to root for. I think it's very human. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
need more. I'm
yeah,
32 at this point. I'm like, I'm not looking for new
yeah. It's
friends.
exhausting,
Just I just got to work on the old ones. You know what I mean? It's like I don't need new leads. I got to finish the deals I'm already working on.
dude.
Uh,
That's so funny.
yeah, yeah.
So
It's
yeah. So okay, what about the fam? Do you have any siblings?
I have an older brother, 5 years older, engineer in Florida. Um, we kind of grew up in different places because when he went to college, I grew up in Corpus Christi, and when he went to college, we moved to Atlanta. So I spent 5 years. I spent high school in Atlanta. He spent high school in Corpus Christi. He went to the University of Florida, majored in mechanical engineering. So we had 5 years is enough that you don't grow up together necessarily. We're very very close, but we didn't
Mm,
bond until he left, and he's a very
copy
smart
that.
guy. Yeah.
Copy that. That's interesting. Yeah, I have two older sisters and one older brother. I'm the youngest of four. So, but we are all pretty packed together. My brother is 2.5 years older than me. So
Hmm.
we were pretty close to where it was like he was definitely the big brother, but we were close enough to where it was like, all right, well, son of a bitch. So we were growing up and we constantly were wrestling around, shit like that. So he was a little bit older. You didn't grow up together. Did you grow up in the same house?
Oh, very much. Yeah, our
Yeah,
parents stayed
okay.
together and all
But you
that.
just didn't
But I
feel
basically
like you had that gelling together like
I had late onset only child syndrome. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay.
Like I was
Okay.
13 when he left, and then I went from being one of two to and then my parents were very old, like very, very old. So I was very spoiled. They were retired. They weren't working. My dad had saved a lot of money from his years as a chemist. So they
Oh, good
just
for
had
him.
nothing but time and affection for me. And it was horrible.
That's hilarious. Okay, that actually makes sense, man. That's okay, so yeah, once he moved out, you're like, I'm the only one here. You're getting all this attention. Like they didn't have
Yeah,
any distractions. It was just you.
right.
Okay. So
Yeah. They
there's
didn't
like
let me go out
pros
on
and
weeknights.
cons.
They didn't let me drink. Yeah. So I was raised healthily, but like I think it made me a bigger piece of shit that I had to like took me a long time to realize, like, oh, you need to think about other people. Like, it took me a long time to
Mm.
register that I was an only child. It was kind of what happened, and
Okay, that makes
I
sense.
still have to adapt for it. So I mean, imagine having four of you must have made you a more considerate person.
I will say that I learned a lot from them, and I was kind of always sitting back and like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe that's a good
Hmm.
idea. And I will say, by the time it got to me, my parents were way more not like they were a lot harder and stricter on my older siblings, in particular my sisters. By the time that it got to me, I was already like independent, and I just wanted everybody to be happy. And I was like the icebreaker. I'd come in while everybody was arguing, and I would like make them laugh because like just to try
Mm.
and break up the like. I was just kind of sitting back. Let's all get along. I'm trying to make everybody laugh, and I was really independent. And I'm like, I don't want any of your attention. I saw all the attention my older siblings got with all their issues and their drama, and like this is so unnecessary. So I would just kind of sit back and be like, I'm gonna do my thing a little bit on the DL. I was a little silent but deadly, but at the
Hmm.
same time I was independent. So I think like I learned from them a little bit.
And your older siblings didn't have that same independent streak.
They yes and no. It's like a little more, I would say like maybe a little more codependence there. Well, now they're gonna think I'm talking like shit about them, but not at all. Like I think I was just like by the time that it got to me, I was like I was over drama, and I thought that by including other people in your shit that equaled like drama. So I would just stick to myself, if that makes sense. They were a little more apt to be like, Mom, I got this going on, or Dad, this in involving them, where I was like, what are you doing? Just handle it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And where did you grow up?
Fort Lauderdale.
Okay,
I was
so there,
born
yeah,
and raised down here. So yeah. Oh, you broke up a little bit.
I'm here.
Okay, there you are. All right. But that's it. So
Is your
you
family
said
from the Northeast? You got any New York ties?
my father was born in Rochester, and my
Okay.
mother was born in, oh, she'll be so mad at me for forgetting a certain part of Connecticut. I know that joke of you, like if
State
somebody
bird.
said that you were like if a human was a state or something, you'd be Connecticut or something like that. But oh yeah, let's. So well, I wanted to ask you about the roast battles, but first, you said your dad was a chemist, and what did your
Yeah,
mom
yeah.
do?
He's no longer with us.
Oh, I'm
My
sorry.
mom had a master's in microbiology, and she worked researching actually the AIDS virus for Johnson and Johnson in New Jersey before I was
Wow,
born. And then while I was growing up, she wasn't as involved with that profession. She,
like
uh,
Philadelphia status. Okay,
yeah,
so all right,
early '80s. Yeah, she was like researching. She did, yeah, some pretty cool work in medicine and medical research,
amazing. Wow,
and
that's
then a
cool.
med tech for a while. Yeah.
Wow, so very intelligent parents. And you said pops isn't with us any longer, but mom still is.
Yes, she is. Yeah.
And you're all, and everybody's still living in New York.
Oh no. So there, my mom's in Atlanta, my brother's in Florida, and I grew up in Texas and Georgia.
Okay.
So I'm the only one in New York. We were born in I was technically born in New Jersey. Um, we left there when I was 3, so I don't remember that. Moved around a little bit growing up. So
Okay. All right. Yeah, I
born in
know
New
that
Jersey, but yeah, grew up in the South.
you were saying something like you were on the west coast of Florida, and I didn't know if that is
Oh,
that.
my brother.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My girlfriend's parents live on the west coast of Florida.
Oh, cool.
And so we
Cool.
stayed with them in Fort Myers, and my mom's up in Atlanta. I'll draw you a map.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was just gonna say.
it's so
We'll
confusing
break
when
out some pie
you're from more
charts
than
and
one place.
bar graphs. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool, dude. Just trying to get the lay of the land, figure it out. But that's cool, man. I mean, I know that part of the reason I was asking is because all the shit going out with these wildfires out in Oregon and California. Have you seen the pictures that have come out of there? Like they look
No.
apocalyptic, dude. It's insane. Like the sky is red right now out in Oregon. It's fucking weird.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
bad. It's
global
dude.
warming related, or is it
I think you know what they said, or at least the one in California. They said that it was started by one
by
of
a
those
gender reveal?
gender reveals, dude. Like, come
I hate how excited my woke friends are about that. It's like, yeah, but it could have just as easily been like I don't know, a rave. Like
yeah,
it could
right.
have easily been.
I know. It's like, God damn, now we're gonna have to come down on all the gender reveal guns and shit. That's the
Yeah,
next
it could
thing
have
on
been
the
a Trump
chopping block.
effigy. You know what I mean? Just as easily. It doesn't
Yeah,
have
right.
to be partisan.
It was
Not
just them
everything
burning a
has to be partisan.
cross.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. Oh, dude, that's so crazy. Yeah, man. It's weird times right now. So I'm glad to hear that you and the fam and everybody are doing good and safe and sound and everybody's healthy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And
good, dude.
my mom she should care more about the virus. She's like, I hope I get it. She's 72. We're like, no.
Dude, what is it with the parents and the dark ass humor they have all of a sudden during COVID like times? It's like, Jesus, I
She's
don't
just
remember you being so dark.
she's always been one of the most pessimistic people. She's had a pretty decent life, and she's just a very my favorite moment with her. I think the funny. She's not. I don't consider her a funny person, not on purpose, but she has moments that are hilarious. We watched Forrest Gump together.
Mhm.
Remember how at the end, the kid, you learn that she has the kid, you learn Forrest is the father, and then she dies.
Uh-huh.
My mom during the credits goes, "I bet it wasn't his kid." Just like matter of factly, like
Yeah.
that's what everyone should have taken away from her. She was
Yeah.
like, "Wait, she can trick him easily. I mean,
Yeah. No, dude, she's got a good point. She's got a
it's a
good
great
point.
point.
Yeah. It
Yeah, I
probably
mean, we have no
wasn't
proof. There's no DNA test.
just
He's a
because the
pretty
kid
simple guy to
was
deceive. Yeah,
she's out there whoring around with the Black Panthers. Oh, dude, that's funny. Yo, man,
yeah.
I love like it's funny though, like you said, the non-funny people in your family or your friends kind of providing like this little insight into things that you're like, holy shit, you don't even know how funny that is.
No idea. Yeah, my dad was not funny at all either. Not at all. Just a very dry guy. He found the most minute things fascinating. He could talk for like an hour on some like or just some quirk of the natural world.
Oh, dude, I probably love to hang out with your I love that shit too.
Yeah,
It's funny,
yeah.
man.
That
Like,
shit's cool now.
yeah, right.
In
Oh,
the
back in the
90s, I was
day.
just nerd. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
Steve Urkel days.
Yeah, dude, I'm done talking about the Large Hadron Collider, man. Can we move on, dude? Enough of this shit. Particles
It's
slamming together at the speed of light. Who gives a shit?
it's Joe Rogan days. I feel like the nerd science has been co-opted, and now it's cool.
For sure, dude. Yeah, there's like this whole mass exodus out of California. A lot of people moving out of there. Rogan moving to Texas. A lot of people moving. It's so funny just to see how this thing is changing the landscape, of comedy or entertainment as we know
Industries. Yeah, I mean, I've long hoped for a globalization of the film market. That it's just LA and New York. Uh, Atlanta has been on the way up for a while. I mean, arguably as many acting opportunities in Atlanta as there are in like New York.
it.
And
Tyler Perry's helping that a lot.
yeah, Turner, all of Turner,
Oh, good
TNT,
call.
AMC,
Yeah.
HBO, Cartoon Network. It's all based there, and it's so much cheaper there compared to LA and New York. And they have infrastructure and space. You don't have to drive 3 hours to get to a shed where you can film something. They have all this stuff built up, and the tax incentives they doubled down and made them the best in the country. It used to be Louisiana, and then they failed to renew them and basically signed their own death certificate in the process. And now I think Atlanta could take over. I have friends who are, comedians living in Atlanta who book series regular roles, having never had a zip code in LA or New York. And that's cool. A globalization of these industries and hopefully more than just entertainment. There's a lot of industries who make a home in LA and New York. That it'd be fun if they went other places. I want options, man. I don't want to just live here.
Most definitely, dude. Yeah, I know that's something that happened down here in South Florida. I have a lot of actor friends who have since moved to Atlanta because the rights to film at certain locations and everything, like you said, it costs them too much money. So they're like, let's go to Georgia, do it dirt cheap there. So many of my friends moving up to Atlanta. It's like you said, but it's good though. Just you see having more options, people challenging the status quo. It does seem kind of ridiculous that it's like, oh, we all have to go to LA if you want to do
Yeah,
any type of production or acting or
it's horrible city. I hate LA so much. It's so hard to get around. It's so big. It's sure a lot of people would defend LA. It was not for me.
yeah.
Um, Yeah, Atlanta's so cool though, and Atlanta's even cooler than it was when I lived there. It's just the diversity, the arts, the. Has it always been such a gay city, or is that a new thing?
I don't know. I lived in Asheville, North Carolina for a while, and that was a super
Yeah,
gay, like friendly city. It was kind of
yeah.
similar, so I
Which
didn't know
is,
Atlanta was like that.
let me stress, one of the best things a city can be. When I say a city's gay, I mean
Yeah.
like buy property there. It's what I
Yeah,
mean by that.
yeah, yeah. The property values going
Dude,
up,
so gay. Remember in high school, be like, so gay as an insult. Now you're like, dude, so gay.
dude. So
Buy.
gay, bro.
Don't
Like,
rent, buy.
dude, that's so funny. Like
That's a
down here,
harbinger
Wilton
of,
Manors.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, we have our little gay spots down here. Just blow the hell up, man. It's so funny. But like, they're like,
Yeah.
it's good little communities, man. They take care of their shit, dude. They
I
see
did a
me.
joke about Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible. God was just angry at them for driving up rent prices. That was just always, it's not the sinfulness. It's just
Yeah.
look at these costs.
Gentrification.
Yeah.
Dude, that's hilarious, bro. So, like you mentioned the arts, aren't you like an arts and crafts guy? I saw something. It
Arts and
wasn't,
crafts.
or
Yeah.
am I? Was that a mischaracterization?
No, that's actually a perfect characterization. Calling it art would be way too much. Arts and crafts is
Yeah. What are you
exactly
into,
what I
man?
do.
What are you
I make
into?
sculptures. Oh, I got some
Can I
right here.
see one?
Yeah, a bunch. This one's not an original character. I've been trying to do original characters lately.
Mhm.
Um, so that's one I made. This is from Adventure
Get the
Time.
fuck out of here. That's
Yeah,
dope, dude.
Y4 or Y5, the backpack. Let me go grab my Green Ranger. Actually, I'm gonna
Go
grab the
get
ones I
it.
really like. 1 second.
I love
Right
it.
back. Hello, did I scare you? Scared the cat. Oops.
Kitty, kitty, meow, meow.
Oh, we gotta bring the cat in here too. I'm okay. We got a cat during quarantine. His name is Password. He's very cute. These are some
Password.
other ones.
Oh, dude,
There he is.
that's
So that's an
sick.
original character. I've been trying to do my own kind of characters. I made other ones for years. Um,
Get the fuck
Little
out of here,
frog
dude. That's
guy.
really dope.
Thanks, and that's it. I'll stop showing.
Have you
I
ever
show
heard
them
of
off like they're kids.
plasticell?
I think it came plasticine.
Or no, it's
Is
called
it?
plasticell or plastic cell. It's this dude who makes figurines.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I follow a lot of sculptors, but I only follow polymer clay sculptors. And
If
that guy
if
might
you
be a that
follow
might
him,
be a
yeah, let me see on Instagram. I'm gonna pull him up right now. Okay, just because I feel like you would dig him. And honestly, okay. Yeah, here, if you can see, I don't know if you can
plasticell. Is it
plasticell.
CELL at the end?
It is, let me see here. PLASTICCELL.
CCELL.
Yeah,
Um.
plastic cell. So yeah, and sculptors.
Oh.
Yeah, check that out, dude. They're all like
Oh,
off
that's
care.
so great.
Isn't that sick?
That's really cool. I mean, Ali Wong.
Yeah, this guy does not fuck around. Like he's got them for like a lot of different people and characters.
Oh, he's very good. I
Yeah.
wonder what he uses.
I don't know, man. But
Um.
no, that's what it reminded me of. That's pretty sick, dude.
Oh,
Like,
there's 4 of them.
what do you use for that?
I use polymer clay. It's called Sculpey. I use the Primo variety. If you're anyone's listening into sculpting, I highly recommend Primo. It's a little bit firmer than Sculpey 3. So it holds details better, so it holds up better. I use armature wire, so I'll just take a little bit of wire and make the frame so it doesn't fall apart or it doesn't fall over. And then some light tools, but I mean, a tool could be like tools, whatever's lying around. You
Yeah,
never know what you need for certain things.
a little
Um,
X-Acto knife here and there.
Dactyl knife, yeah. Little rubber, yeah. Uh, Polymer clay. So it comes in different colors. So I don't paint. And I use the colors they give me, where you can mix colors, and yeah, it's wild what you can make with them. And I'm not very good. Like the people who are really good can make. It's mind blowing what you can accomplish with this. Clay Claim, ClayClaim, on Instagram and YouTube it's mind blowing. The stuff he does. I highly recommend following, whether or not you're a sculptor.
Clay Claim. Okay, I'm looking at his. Oh wow, dude, the Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
Did
He
he, or is that
he
fake?
makes time lapse videos of creating them,
Oh, I
and he'll
see
take
what
like
it
an
is.
8 hour creation and like speed it up to 30 minutes, and I'll watch the whole 30 minutes.
Why?
I'll
Yeah,
watch him make
dude,
it.
those
Just
are so satisfying, man. I love watching those videos, like projects beginning to end.
yes,
Wow,
and
that's
he
cool.
films it so well. And like for me, it takes so long to. Mine are so much worse, and they take so much longer. And I move from room to room and restart. And he's just like, sits down. He's like, "Today I'm finishing this." The Deadpool, yeah,
Yeah, that's
unbelievable,
dope.
unbelievable. The
That's
detail on that.
so. Do you like your original characters, like that you said that you put together? Do you have any vision for them? Like, do you see them in a
Yes.
world, an animated world?
Oh no. No. I just draw characters. I try to draw them first,
Uh-huh.
just to have some structure of where I'm going, and then I build them. And motifs that each design is based off of. Like, as cheesy as it is, I wanted something that looked like a demon but as cute as possible. So I wanted it to be
Isn't his
ugly and
hair
cute,
a sign like like a
probably
Chinese
evil.
symbol? It looks like
It looks like those Chinese buildings or Japanese
yeah.
buildings or something. But I wanted to give him an underbite. I wanted his nose be between his eyes. I like him pink because that's such a feminine color, but spiky because that's such a feminine thing. And I love a mixture of cute and ugly. But I don't give them necessarily worlds. I do kind of envision them as Pokemon. So I do like them having types. So a lot of times I'll be inspired by like in Pokemon, everything has at most two types, and there's I think 15 or 16 different types to choose from. So I love to look at what combinations of Pokemon haven't been made yet. Like there's at the time I made this, there was no dark and fairy type. Those are two types. So I made a dark fairy type, but there's no fire and electric combined that I could find. So I wanted something that looked both fire and electric. So that'll inspire me a lot. And now I'm trying to make him uglier. I realize everything's so cute because it's Pokemon inspired that now I'm trying to make things that are just gross.
That's
Um,
cool though. That's
yeah,
cool though. I like
it's
that.
yeah, it's just a hobby I'm way too into. There's no making money off of it. I don't sell them because
That's
they take too
very
long to
healthy
make.
though, man. I love it. You fucking light up when you talk about that shit. And it's great.
Yeah,
Everybody needs something like that, dude. Like everybody
yeah,
should have something like that that you can just like be like, okay, when you got a little downtime and God knows we're all like either super busy or super not busy nowadays. It's good to have that little something that you can go to and get a lot of satisfaction out of. Like everybody should have something like that. Is there
I
anything
agree.
else like that? Any hobbies that you do, or is it just arts and crafts?
I do a website. I took a break from it, but I have a Monday Punday, which is mondaypunday.com. It's a website and an app, and I do little puzzles there. But I do that. That's not as personal of a thing. That's made to share. That's made for other people to solve. So they're visual pun puzzles.
Those are cool,
And
man. I've seen quite a
thank
few
you.
of those. I wanted to bring that up eventually, like that Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and just like I saw a
Thanks.
couple of those really, really cool, original, smart ideas. I like
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. It's fun. I like the puzzle aspect of it. I like challenging people to think. It's comedy. You kind of hand people the finished product. I like watching other people solve it because then they get the satisfaction out of it too, hopefully, when they solve it. So it's not just about me, it can be about the person participating in the puzzle. I've been doing math for fun. I've been tutoring some math for free, and I've been trying to like relearn some college math or pick up some college math I never studied. And that stuff's as fun as ever as well. So that's been, yeah, a lot of down fill it. I should be writing scripts and taking classes, but no, I'm just yeah, screwing around.
Hey, dude, listen, it's like everybody's going through this a little differently, right? Like,
Hmm.
and maybe you'll find that that's what's going to get you to that point where you feel inspired to, I mean, to sit down and kind of force yourself to write a script because you feel like you should, or you could live life a little bit and, maybe let the muse come to you when the time's right.
Hmm.
You strike while the iron's hot, and you got your shit. But
Yeah.
that's cool, man. And math, dude, that's something like I I was always good at math. I hated showing the work. I'm like literally like I was that kind. I'm like I can just do it in my head, man. Why do I have to show the equation? I was such a fucking little pain in the ass. But I admire people who follow through with math. I think that is like it's impressive. I was a science and history buff myself, but I always admired and did enjoy math to a certain extent because I enjoy the fact that there's the equation, there's a beginning to end, there's a feeling of like, okay, it's like it's done. The equation has been solved and it feels
Hmm.
like good. And I understand why that could be something for people who are really passionate about math. You see a problem, you're like, oh, I'm gonna solve this bitch. Like that's gotta be a pretty cool
Yeah.
feeling.
And the cool part about learning math is someone set it all out for you, so there is a solution, and it's probably pretty simple, like compared to how nasty it could be.
Mm,
The
yeah,
answer is
dude.
not going to be some endless decimal. It's going to be something that can be very rationally expressed.
Yeah, I'm literally like that. But once they got into letters, I'm like, all right, dude, this is like trig and calculus. I'm like, oh god, dude, this is too much, man. I mean, I get it, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. I got to that
So,
level in college eventually. Analysis, a class called analysis. Really, it was just so esoteric. Like, prove one is greater than zero,
oh,
and that's yeah. That was
oh,
that was a question. It was
my god,
yeah. It's so hard. I don't know how to do it still.
that's incredible. All right, so, dude, how did you get into comedy? Because I discovered you on the roast battles, which you're really funny on, by the way.
Thank you.
And you had some really good jokes. But how did you get into comedy? What made a guy like you want to get into it?
I don't have that like I was funny growing up or I always was I enjoyed comedy a healthy amount more than average but not like some crazy amount and I tried to be funny and typically failed in high school and I got through college and I was about 23 years old and I saw a flyer for an open mic and it just kind of dawned on me that anyone could do it. I think I'd been to one live comedy show. It was Donald Glover and I really liked it and I realized I had missed any chance of being any kind of artist or performer. I wasn't trained for acting. I wasn't trained for music. I couldn't dance. And I realized stand up not only didn't have prerequisites, it was almost better if you had no experience. So it seemed at 23 like the one thing I still could do. And I just into the real world. I had been told my whole life that I was going to get a degree in STEM and I was going to get a job in STEM and that was my life and it kind of dawned on me all in a moment of like you don't have to do everything they told you to. There's other paths you can take and chase it down. So comedy seemed like a cool doorway into that and I really loved it right away and I loved how you just could just go up every night and keep working at it. Whether or not you were talented, you could just keep building up skill through repetition and yeah, very very quickly just dove in.
Very cool, man. That's cool. So I could kind of see that where you, like you said, you were brought up in this family, very intelligent parents. Your brother moves out when you're 13 and you've got all this attention and they're saying, oh, you're doing everything right. And you're,
Mm.
like you said, you're going down this path. And then you find something that just lights you on fire and
Yeah,
changes your whole path of life. And so
it's that cheesy John Mayer song.
which one? Stay,
I want to run through my halls of my high
oh, yeah.
school.
I'm
There's
on
no
the
such thing as
scream
the
at the
real world.
top of my
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, good call, dude. Yeah, man. It's so what did mom and dad have to say about that?
They hated it. They were like, it's a fun hobby, but keep your day job. And I didn't. I got fired because I was pursuing comedy too hard. And my dad eventually was excited about it. My mom still wants me to quit. And which is frustrating because I'm not like writing dirty jokes. I feel like my act is pretty palatable to her. It's not like I'm doing something shameful. She just doesn't like the lack of security. She's a boomer, like she's born in 47, so their whole thing was find structure and stability in your career and your dreams are things you do on the nights and on the weekend.
Doctor,
Uh,
lawyer, chemist, stuff like
yeah,
that. That's what she's thinking.
yeah. So she still just hates how uncertain it is, even at its best. When Robin Williams died, she called me. She was like, I mean, he killed himself, and look how much he accomplished, and he still wasn't happy. So what do you think you're going to get out of this?
That's the most mom move ever, dude.
Yeah. It was like even he couldn't be happy doing this. What do you expect?
Yeah. Does she kind of understand that you get other things out of it outside of the money or security, that you're getting a lot of gratification and, everything else
I don't
out of
think
it?
her generation was
She just
built to.
doesn't register.
Yeah, gratification is. I mean, she did love her job, but it's so secondary to
Mm,
stability.
yeah. She's like, my parents went through the depression, bitch. You need to get your life
Yeah.
together. Like, okay, that's cool. So you get into comedy, you start seeing that you like it, but you're in New York still. So you're pretty much
This is
going out of,
Houston.
oh, Houston. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay. You did say Houston. So when did you end up going
Called
to New York or LA? How'd you end up getting with the roast battle guys?
2 years into comedy. So when I was 25, I moved to LA. And I spent 3 or 4 years there. So 2015, I did the New Faces showcase at JFL, which for those who don't know, it's kind of like the people to watch. It's like the rookie,
Mm.
the people coming up. They pick
It's
a
like the
batch of like
NFL
20 of
draft
us.
score, like, yeah,
Yeah, something like that. The
kind of.
combine or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I went to they make it seem like it's this make or break get discovered moment. It's just another notch in the belt. But I did that, and as part of that, they said you want to do this roast battle. It's this big bracket. The whatever 32 people down to two or something like that. And I said, yeah, I'll do it just because I hate saying no to anything. I hate backing down. And I won the first night, not because I succeeded. We were both kind of trying to lose, and Jack Knight, my opponent, did better at losing. So I moved on, and at the time considered a pain. And I performed the second night, and I won that as well. But I was trying a little harder. And by the third night, I realized that it was important, and I really went after it, and I won the third night, which put me in the final two against Jimmy Carr. And I was learning how to do it as I was going, and it was very, very fun, and I realized the value of it. So since that, I've been fortunate enough to be included in Comedy Central's roast battle, and got to write for one of the roasts. And yeah, it's something I really appreciate, and I really like the community around it as well.
That's cool. So you do write for the big roasts, like of the Rob Lowe roast. Which one did you write for?
I wrote for Alec Baldwin.
Oh, okay.
It was my first writing job, actually. So
Nice. What's that process like? I mean, obviously you can't have the same jokes being told. So, but from what I heard, I think it was Nikki Glazer saying that you don't know the other people's jokes, but like the producers and writers know everybody's jokes, and they kind of
right.
approve and delete or whatever jokes that don't work. Is that how it works?
So yes, what we do, the comedians try to write their own jokes. People like Nikki come in with their own scripts. Some people, most people aren't necessarily stand-ups. So we, as a team, write a bunch of jokes. It's a lot of people they bring in and out. You just write as many jokes as you can for the first, like, it's 3 weeks of writing. For the first week or two, you're just trying to write as many jokes as you can about anyone, by anyone, and you create a joke bank. And we read all the jokes, and we go through hundreds of jokes a day, and the ones that are good enough make it to the joke bank. And then once we start actually putting together people's sets and people come requesting, we pick out jokes we think would be good for them. We try them with the talent, and they accept or decline, and try to write their own jokes. And we get drafts of the comedians' jokes and make sure things don't overlap, or make sure things don't go into territory that was forbidden by participants. And
how's that
it all
work?
comes.
Do they have like a list of shit you just can't talk about?
Yeah, certain
Yeah.
people ask for certain things. It's not that stringent. Yeah, I'll have to tell you off camera what one of them was, because it's
Hmm.
not what you'd expect from who do you expect. But yeah, we didn't get too much pushback. You will pitch what you think is a really good joke, and they're just like, no. And it's like, the whole staff laughed at it. You know what I mean? Like you read these jokes in this room, where you go through once a day where you read all of your jokes out loud to the room, and you see if they get laughs or not. And if they get laughs in that room, which is a very hard room, they make it to the final document and hopefully get pitched. But you'll just, one person's taste might not like reflect how the crowd would react. And you see some good jokes go by the wayside. You're like, damn, that would have been perfect.
That's gotta be frustrating when you just like, why can't this is perfect. This is so much better than even all the other ones combined. I would pick this over every other one. You just can't get it through for some bullshit reason.
My favorite was Caroline Ray. And so Caroline Ray was on Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and Alec Baldwin was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. So they both have lots of experience flying around with teenagers.
Oh, dude,
And,
I like that.
That didn't go through. No one wanted that one.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, dude. Yeah, man. Oh my God, Carolina Ray. I do remember that was a good one. Did you meet Alec Baldwin? He seems like one of those guys who's like, yeah, he's only meeting the people that he really needs to meet. He's not like getting around hanging out with the PAs or anything. Not to make any judgments about him.
He just wasn't there when we were there. I didn't get to meet him. I only got to meet Caroline. She was really cool. She's a stand-up.
Yeah.
So she
gets it.
It's very fun. She could take a joke and make it so much better. She has such a good performance ability and a keen understanding of jokes, and she brought her own in, and that was really neat. I mean, I know Chris Redd and I know Nikki Glazer already, but that was it. I was only there for the second week of 3. Didn't feel very strong in that room, but hey, I'm up against veterans, so.
Hey, dude, like you said, you're going up against some really good people, and you got to start somewhere, at least. I mean, relatively, being in comedy for 9 years, I'm sure it feels like an eternity, but that's not really that long when you talk to the people like Bill Burr, Seinfeld, Rogan. They're all like, you're a little pup. You're still getting there.
Yeah, it feels like things either move way too fast or way too slow for comedians. I see people popping off at 5 years, and I see people popping off at like 22 years. And I try to remind myself that the people who are more fun to watch are the ones who swung and missed many, many times before they became Theo Von or Tom Segura, or just those people who.
Yes.
I mean, I knew Theo Von in LA, and I didn't think of him as being like a guy. Strangely, I thought of him as a guy who had been around for a while. And then when he started to blow up, I was like, oh, he's just now hitting his stride. And he's so successful. He's
hey,
so
man,
funny.
you gonna eat that Pop-Tart? Yeah, dude, he's just got such a unique sense of humor.
And he's developed it so well. So yeah, and he must be 15, 20 years in. I don't know how old he is, but I assume he's been around a little while.
I remember him from Road Rules, bro.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That's so great. Him and Christina Pazitsky.
Was she on it too?
Yeah, she was on Road Rules back in the day too. I saw her and I was like, God, she looks so familiar, and I couldn't place it. And she said it in one of her podcasts. I was like, get the fuck out of here. That's right. So strange.
It's so hard, and it happens so rarely that someone is famous from something else and then is able to become a good stand-up. And those are the only two. I won't name any other names.
Jeremy Piven. Anyway, you ready to move on?
Yeah. It's like you can develop an act, but until you go up in front of people who hate you and don't want to like you, but you make them like you anyway, and you've done that more times than you can count, I don't think you really get to that just like killer level that someone like, I guess Theo Von, but I guess Real World isn't like, you can't like Road Rules, was it?
Yeah, I think it was Road Rules, right? Not Real World. Yeah, I think it was Road Rules. And they're out and about. Oh, kitty cat invasion. We got her.
You're jumping in frame, you little photogenic bastard.
Yeah, dude, beautiful little cat. All right, dude. This is we got a couple things left here, and I'll let you go. This next one, basically, I like to keep the show positive, all right? As you can tell, I like try and get into your journey and all that good stuff, and we're keeping the vibe up. But especially in times like this, it's unhealthy to keep everything bottled up, and like that angst is going to build up. You don't want to pretend like everything's all right, only to explode at the wrong time. You got to get it out one way or another. People who keep it in and they let it fester, it's going to explode on the wrong person, like a Taco Bell. I asked for extra hot. You want to get it out in a healthy way, and you always feel better afterwards when you do. So I got a little something called Hater Hall of Fame.
I hate you guys.
I hate you. I don't even know you.
You're tacky and I hate you.
What's ticking you off today, bro? What's pissing you off? Something that you need to get off your chest to make you maybe feel a little bit better. It could be a human behavior that you're seeing right now you don't like. It could be something about yourself. It could be anything. What is it that's bugging you that's going on right now you need to get off your chest?
I hate social media. I hate how addicted I am to it. I hate how much of a reaction I have to it. And I hate how everyone isn't being themselves online. I hate how everyone has to take one extreme side or the other. If you have any moderate take, they automatically shove you to the other side. There's no reasonable middle ground, and I feel like it's ingenuine. I feel like it stifles conversation. I feel like I see close friends being liars and really delighting in the downfall of others in a really toxic way. And again, I can't look away from it somehow still. Yeah, that's what I hate so much. And I hate that I'm that guy too. I do that plenty. I'm also that person.
Dude, that is a fantastic answer. And I agree with every word that you said. That it's such a bummer to see, like, again, like you said, that you realize sometimes you can get caught, like pulled in as well. But that I talk to my Republican friends and they call me a libtard. I talk to my liberal friends and they're like, you're Donald Trump. Like, yeah, like there is no middle ground. Like you said, they pull you or try and get you because it's easier for them to wrap their heads around. I mean, oh, you're just like an idiot if you aren't digging everything that Donald Trump is saying, then you just want handouts from Bernie. And if you don't agree with everything that Pelosi says, it's like, it's fucking exhausting. And I could not agree with that more. What a great answer. All right, we're going to play a mental reps question here. I'm going to get you out of here. All right.
Perfect.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Why so serious?
What's in the box?
What does Marcellus Wallace look like?
What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Answer the question, Claire.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Is Darth Vader my father?
For real, B? I want answers.
Without a good question, a good answer has no place to go. It's time for the mental reps questionnaire.
All right. If you could meet anyone, current or historical, and spend the day picking their brain, who would it be?
Oh, goodness. Jon Stewart.
Okay. Why is that?
He's just smart. He was a guy who was able to be funny while being sincere, and he would say very important things, but you could tell he wasn't saying them because he thought he should say them. He was saying it because he actually felt that way.
I like that. If you had one round trip ticket in a time machine, when and where would you go?
Oh, I'd love to meet Jesus. Just see what that guy was about.
Yeah, what's the deal, JC?
Yeah.
Give me the DL. All right.
Even if he wasn't the Messiah, he had to be pretty charming, you know?
Yeah, to convince people that he is when you're really not. I mean, that's even more impressive. No, I'm just kidding. That came off so wrong. Yeah, I'm Jewish. It's okay. If you could have one superpower, what would it be besides being Jewish?
Only needing 30 minutes of sleep.
Good call. I never even thought about that.
That if I could sleep for 30 minutes and it would feel like 9 hours every night.
Oh, dude, good call, man. I really like that answer. Okay, I like that.
Do you say flying? You'd need like a permit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you got to deal with drones and all, and you got Bezos up there. It's a whole thing. Do you believe in ghosts?
No.
Okay, so no ghosts, no multi-dimensional anything else going on we don't see with our eyes or perceive.
Not in a mystical, spiritual way. Not one that affects our consciousness. There could be
No metaphysical.
Yeah, there could be a whole set of matter that doesn't interact with the particles we're constructed of, that is passing through us in this moment, and we'll never have any way of detecting it or interacting with it.
But nothing of like conscious.
Yeah, none of it affects our consciousness.
Okay. In a world without stand-up, what's your dream job?
Toy designer.
So I think we covered them. Very nice. Yeah, I like that. Tell me about somebody who changed your life for the better.
Who changed my life for the better? Does it have to be in a good way? Or no? Could their action be bad and it led to something good?
Of course.
I got in trouble for a joke, and I got called out online for it, and now I don't check the internet as much because it was such a unfun experience reading all those things about me and all the reactions to it, that it was kind of a nice social media addiction rock bottom. And I made my girlfriend change my password, and now I'm on Facebook 3 times a week, hopefully, Twitter twice a week, and that's it. So
good for you.
It's been a good thing.
Yeah, I like that, man. So yeah, I would actually want to just really quick ask you about that. Like, what's that like trying to people who are trying to go through that, or just to help them wrap their head around it? What's that like when you're trying to deal with that, when you know one thing and you're also a person who's growing, and somebody says something online that either hits too close to home or it's so absurd and off, but they still seem to like get you where it hurts? Like, what's it like trying to cope with that and try and keep all of that in its right place, like not taking in too much of the good or the bad?
In terms of, I'm sorry, can you reframe the question?
So like, so how do you, I should say, like, how do you kind of deal with that and cope? You just ignore it? Is that kind of the best route? Because we're all human. You hear something, somebody says something about you, and it's gonna affect you a
I
little
try
bit.
to stay away from the internet because it feels like real life, but it's not. And your brain can't see the difference between what someone says to you in a comment section and what they would say to you in real life. And it took kind of being yelled at by a person in person to realize that the way he treated me was one of the few times someone has interacted with me that strongly in real life, yet something I see constantly on the internet. And that it's rare in real life is a good thing. I might even say this man's actions against me were justified. But I was like, oh, in real life, it's so harsh and so rare. And online, it's so prevalent. The internet isn't real life. This isn't how people treat when you drop that. When you're not able to see someone's face and hear someone's voice, you can be so much crueler, and you can delight in their downfall. So just you got to stay away from it. It's a drug. It's not. I don't think there's a healthy way to consume it for most people. It took me a long time to realize, like, there's no. It's like casually doing heroin. You have to find some way to really build a wall between you and this addiction, and admit that it's stronger than you. And to interact with human beings, because it's always so much better.
Oh God, totally agree with you on that. Okay, if you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say?
Don't delight in the suffering of others. There's things that need to be done, and people need to be punished, and justice needs to be served, and people's minds need to be changed. But if you so outwardly enjoy someone else's pain, it only leads to more pain. It only leads to that person exacting revenge. It never leads to good. It's never okay to enjoy it. And that doesn't mean you can't, no one should be harmed in any way ever, but don't have so much fun with it.
I like that, man. I like that. How do you feel? Do you think we covered everything? You feel good about it?
I feel good about it. I feel really good about it.
I'm feeling good about your cat too. What's your cat's name?
Password.
Password. That's right. What up, Password? Password's been the mascot of the podcast this week. Good looking out, Password. We got the quote of the week, and I'll let you go. It's from Oscar Wilde. I choose my friends for their good looks, my acquaintances for their good character, and my enemies for their good intellect.
Pretty.
Thought you might like that one. Oscar Wilde. All right. Where can people find you on the social media?
At Monday Punday, and on Twitter and Instagram. And I have a podcast with my girlfriend called She Does Stand Up Too.
Oh, nice. What's your girlfriend's name?
Laura Sogar.
Laura Sogar.
Former national team swimmer. She is somewhat newer to stand up, and we thought it would be very fun to document it from disparity of gender and experience viewpoints. So it's kind of like a little playbook for early comedy.
Very cool. So what's that called again?
She Does Stand Up Too.
She Does Stand Up Too. All right, so go check them out. Monday Punday. She Does Stand Up Too. Matthew, you're in the Mental Reps family now, man. Come back anytime. If you're ever down in South Florida, I put comedy shows on down here. So I think I actually mentioned that to you once. So we definitely got to get you down here. We got to get you at a show. And it's a pleasure to meet you. And I wish you nothing but the best, man. And thank you for spending some time with me, brother.
Stay safe. Stay healthy, mentally and physically.
Will do, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Matt. I really appreciate you, brother. Keep in touch, right?
I'm Matthew Broussard. You're listening to the Mental Reps podcast with Brian Wright, and keep your head on a swivel.